Good morning, Niner fans. How we feeling? Got some news today to talk about. Javon Hargrave, 49ers defensive tackle. We got some news about Javon Hargrave today we're going to discuss. But first and foremost, how's everybody doing? How are you feeling? Good morning. The 49ers have recently restructured Javon Hargrave's contract for the 2025 season, and it kind of hints towards that he's probably gone next year. It's going to allow them to kind of open the door for a post June 1st release. We'll see how this goes. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. So obviously, Javon Hargrave, they signed him to a massive contract a couple years back. Huge free agent signing. I mean, it was like, oh my God. And, the Niners were like, okay, we'll add one of the Eagles' big-time defenders. Their defensive line was one of the reasons they were so good, right? And so the 49ers said, okay, we'll take away one of their top-tier defensive linemen. We'll add them to us. We can get over them. We can beat the hump, get over the hump, and we can beat the Eagles. And, also, 49ers needed more depth. They wanted to make that defensive line just dominating, which 2019 was probably the best collection of linemen they had under this Shanahan-Lynch era, and kind of wanted to recreate that. So Hargrave came in, and they gave him a lot of money, and we were excited. But honestly, he hasn't lived up to that contract. He's been hurt. This year, he's missed pretty much the whole season. He's been on the injured reserve. It's been unfortunate for him. So according to Jason at Over the Cap, 49ers have restructured the contract of Javon Hargrave for the 2025 and 2026 season. And according to the article, it looks to be a setup to allow for a post-June 1st release next year, which makes sense to me, right? You reduce the cap number, you can probably come off that contract, and, he gets a little bit of something. Hargrave gets a little bit of something. The Niners don't have to worry about that on their cap space, on their payroll. And it makes sense because you're also trying to pay Mr. Brock Purdy. So Brock Purdy's going to get paid. You need to take some contracts out. And, even though the 49ers are still fighting for a playoff spot, they still have to now start thinking about the future. They have to start thinking about the offseason. They have to start thinking about those contracts and which players are still going to be around. Obviously, Hargrave could be back if they make the playoffs. That was the, idea. But honestly, it just doesn't seem like it makes sense to even bring him back. So, let's take a look at some of these comments. He gone. This is Mario. He gone. I had a talk with my boy yesterday, and I said yesterday on the Instagram, I said, I think Hargrave's gone. And when I saw this morning, I texted him. I said, you were right. He said, I'm never wrong. So Hargrave definitely is going to be gone next year. Like, it's writing's on the wall. So let's talk about that contract a little bit more. They reduced the base salary. So the base salary of his contract was $19.9 million. That's a lot. They reduced it down to 2.1. That's a huge, huge decrease. And it drops his salary cap number. This is the key, from $28.105 million to $10.305 million in the process. That's crazy. So the original cost to cut Hargrave's contract would have been $24.86 million on the cap, or $28.105 million during free agency if used during the June 1st. This will allow the team to designate Hargrave's post-June 1st release count just for $10.3 million on the cap during free. So when you restructure it like that, they're saying, okay, instead of costing us the $28 million, it's only going to cost us $10 million. So they restructured it, and now they're not going to be on the books for that $28 million if they get rid of him. $10 million is still a lot, but it's not as big of a hit as 20. I mean, $10 million is tough, but $28 million, that's absolutely outlandish. So it's good. It's good for the 49ers that they were able to do this, because they're going to need to pay Brock Purdy. So another part of this was, obviously, it's going to allow them to designate him as a post-June 1st release. And also the cap number count for 2025, if he's still hurt, they could defer it over to 2026. So there's ways out of this. The 49ers, they're smart. Parag knows what he's doing. This front office has been doing this for years. They know, okay, we got these big contracts. How do we get out of this? How do we defer money? How do we roll money over? They know how to do that. They've been doing it for years. And yeah, that contract was terrible, but the 49ers know there's ways out of those contracts, because you got to protect your brand, your business, and it is a business, and there's always ways to protect. And it's unfortunate for Hargrave. He gone, so What's up, 49ers media? M says it didn't matter in the end since the Eagles replaced Hargrave with Jalen Carter. Yeah, Niners thought they got one up. The Eagles just upgraded their D-line. So that's tough. But I would say this, the 49ers definitely got to go draft defensive linemen this year, whether you like it or not, because this D-line has not been cooking. They brought in Malik Collins. They brought in Jordan Elliott. They didn't move the needle so much this year, but it's still early. Well, not early. Still got a little bit of season left on the bone. Maybe they can kind of make a little bit more impact. Yetur Gross-Matos, last couple of weeks, he's definitely turned it up a notch. He missed a lot of games because of injuries, but I like what I saw out of him. Leonard Floyd, also, he started slow. I think he had to kind of figure his way on the defense, but now he's been cooking too. So Niners got some good players on the D-line, but they need to get better. It's not as, just aggressive as we thought it would be. It just hasn't been what it needs to be. And Hargrave was a big loss. We thought he was going to come in and be this big offense, this big run stuffer and just this big, pressure guy. And he just was injured. And, this offseason, he said, I know I didn't really have a great year last year. I'm getting stronger. I'm getting faster, this and that. He said all the right things. It just hasn't translated because of injuries, unfortunately. So, K says they were already going to get minus 20 million in savings by cutting him June 1st. Yeah. So the good news is you're saving money. And like I said, you have to figure out ways to cut some money when you got a quarterback that you got to pay a lot of money. So, AJ says, so that means a lot of original players are going to be extended. Pay Purdy and keep Kittle. Well, not necessarily. It also means that the 49ers have to look at some of those contracts and see if they want to keep them. I don't know. I want to keep Kittle, but this contract that Brock's going to get, depending on how big it is, it might jeopardize a contract of George Kittle. It might jeopardize, an extension and stuff like that. So, I don't want to sit here and say George Kittle's not going to be on the team, but you got to look around. You got to take a look around and see which players are going to be back. Like, there's going to be conversations. There's going to be some players that don't come back, and I know a lot of people are going to be upset because they love those players, and I get it, but it's going to be a wild offseason is all I know. It always is. So let's kind of keep continuing on and go over this article a little bit more. It says Hargrave does have guarantees in the contract if the team does not opt to release him. The $2.1 million base salary ensured that Hargrave, who is currently injured, will qualify for the maximum injury protection benefit allowed by the CBA if he's still injured after the season. That would count for $1.26 million on the cap. And there you go. So he does have some money that if he's hurt and they release him, he'll get some money. So at least he gets a parting gift. At least he doesn't leave empty-handed. You've robbed us enough. We'll give you a little bit, to fill up your gas tank. Go get some dinner. We'll give you $1.26 million. Go get some dinner for that. But then you go figure out a new playbook. Go figure out Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Go figure out Atlanta Falcons, whatever you want to go. Go figure that out. Go figure that language out. Because you ain't going to be playing for the 49ers, buddy. Now, this is the most important part of the article that I saw and nobody's talking about. Maybe not most important, but most interesting. Let me read this part of the article. Check this out. This one right here, I'm going to take a lot of people for a doozy because I see this one. I see this. Like I said, a lot of players are not going to be here next year. Let's talk about this. The 49ers also have the ability to designate Deebo Samuel a post-June 1st release next year following a creative restructure of his contract this past March. I looked it up. I posted it. It was reported a couple months back. They did indeed restructure Deebo Samuel's contract this offseason. They opened up $14.6 million in cap space. That allows the team to have a post-June 1st release. Deebo hasn't had a really good season. I know Matt Mayoko said he believes that Deebo is going to still be on his team. Deebo Samuel just got community noted. Did you guys see? They hit the community notes on Deebo Samuel last night. I could not. I went to sleep just in I couldn't believe. This guy Deebo says, I'm not struggling. I'm not struggling. And you know what happened to Deebo? This man got hit. Did you see what happened to Deebo? He got community noted. Listen, he follows me on Twitter, though, by the way. I love you. Did he delete the post? Deleted the post. He deleted the post. Oh, my God. He deleted the post. This man got community noted, and he got deleted. This man deleted the post. Oh, he gone for sure. Deebo gone. Debo got cooked on Twitter. He is, oh my, bro, I didn't know his post was deleted. Oh my God. No, diabolical. I'm just now finding this out as I'm looking this up. He got community noted. Look at this. Listen to, I found the post because obviously, people posted it. This man, he says, I'm not struggling at all. Just not getting the ball. We saw that post yesterday, right? Just community note on the bottom. It says, readers added context. It says, he leads the team in drops. He is struggling. He gone. Oh my God. Unbelievable. He is gone, bro. He gone. He cooked. He deleted the post. He got community noted and deleted the post. That might be the most embarrassing thing. Like, I love Debo, you know that. But okay, first off, getting community noted is diabolical. Pro athlete getting community notes on his post is crazy. But then when you go and delete it, it's embarrassing. You deleted it after you got community noted. Like, he had to be like, yeah, he was just like in his feeling. Sucks, man. But back to the point of the matter. They did restructure his contract. He has the ability to be a post-June 1st release. I would be shocked if he's not now. I just feel like he's going to be gone. He's taking up a lot of money. Or Niners say, hey, take a smaller deal like Armstead. They might say, take a $2 million deal, take a $3 million deal. This is what you produced last year. I think that's what the Niners are going to do. Say, hey, look, we love you, Deebs, but this is what you did last year. Take this $2 million, $3 million. If you want more, go somewhere else. You can get more. We're not saying go get more, don't get more money, but this is what we're going to give you. I think that's what they do this year, kind of like the Armstead. I think they do the Armstead to Debo, and he gone. Wow. So that's it. That's the big news. Javon Hargrave contract restructured. He's probably gone next year. And Debo. And now brings the question of who else? Who else is going to get released? It's going to be interesting. Now, I think a lot of this will be determined by the rest of the season. If they keep playing, if they play well, they might earn a contract here or there. Players are playing for a contract. But there's going to be veterans that the 49ers look on this roster and say, should we pay him? Should we pay him more? Maybe we restructure. Kyle Juszczyk, maybe one of them. Trent Williams, he's restructured every year. They gave him guaranteed money. Now he's been hurt this year, and then he has a lot of personal stuff. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to say if Trent even wants to come back next year. I don't know. I mean, where's his mindset? It's tough. Mooney Ward probably won't be back because they got Renardo Green. He's a free agent. Charvarius Mooney. It's tough. It's going to be a different roster, that's for sure. But the Niners have to draft well. They need to make sure they really hit in the draft. They need to get young. They need to get talent that's good, not just young, but you need to get good young talent, good depth, and fortify this team. Because, A, you need cheaper contracts. You need younger guys. You can't just be throwing money up. But you got to have depth. Because this year proved they just did not have the depth. They had good players, good starters, top-heavy team, paid a lot of players. But they've been hurt. They've been banged up. When your best players are banged up, Nick Bosa, Trent Williams, Fred Warner, et cetera, Christian McCaffrey, you're paying all these guys, but they're not on the field. Your backups are nowhere near their talent. It's you see the results, the record-wise. But also, they've blown some games. Coaching was flawed too, but, they need to build up that depth. But in any case, real quick, just so y'all know, Javon Hargrave, I would be shocked if he's on the 49ers next season. And there you have it. You guys have a good rest of your day. Go Niners. Javon Hargrave, he gone. It's been nice knowing you, buddy. Better learn how to speak Carolina Panthers. Hit that like button, y'all.